Man, those timelines come up quick. I was excited. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give myself until 2. That'll give me a lot of time, and I'm looking, it's 2:01. Anyways, once again, if you haven't seen any of the other videos, and we're doing as many as we can today, we are doing a $100 mock draft giveaway in our Facebook group. That is the point of these videos. So what I need from you is several things. First of all, if you want to get involved, subscribe, then join this here. Come on, stupid camera. Right there, join that. Drop in a 7-round mock draft. So we are doing the Arizona Cardinals right now. So we're right here at 4. We're going to be doing Chargers, John. Probably somewhere in here is where you want to get started before, whatever. Otherwise, that's it. That's all you got to do. If you're not interested in doing that, what I need you to do is make sure you comment on the mock draft and let me know what you think of it, because the best producing videos are going to be the ones that knocking over my crap. Best producing one is going to get $100. So why don't we go ahead and get started? The biggest thing, I think, with the Arizona Cardinals is that they suck. This is just rough, man. I mean, look at, Kyler Murray. What are you getting from Kyler Murray? Not enough. This is kind of fluky. Plus, he's a running back, so who cares? Our wide receivers are meh. Our offensive line needs to be fixed. The defensive line is pathetic. The linebackers are terrible. Our edge rushers are just, they're there, but they're not super good enough. Our corners, this is just abysmal. And then we've got, Budda Baker, who's a big name that everybody likes, but, he's not a premier guy. Our safety is maybe like the strong point. But so the bottom line is two things. Number one, this team sucks and needs a lot of help. And number two, they need a lot of picks. But fortunately, they do have a lot of picks. So this is going to take us a little bit of a minute to get through this. But that's what we're going to do. So first of all, with pick number 4, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver out of LSU, 20 years old, very, very talented wide receiver. And being as young as he is, to see this kind of ascension down here at the bottom is pretty impressive. I know, again, some people think that he is potentially the best wide receiver in this class. If it wasn't for Marvin Harrison, he'd probably be the best in a lot of classes, but extremely gifted wide receiver. And you can see, the stats, the grades, everything is phenomenal. 3.64 yards per route run is just completely stupid. So really talented guy at wide receiver. And again, might not be our biggest need, but it's certainly a need. And you can't pass up on a guy like that. Next up, Byron Murphy, really, really talented defensive tackle. I would borderline say underrated. As you can see, again, 70, 80, 90. He's getting better every year. The run defense is solid. The pass rush getting better. 45 pressures and 6 sacks on 237 attempts. You got everything. You got just a fully well-rounded guy, 21 years old, relatively young. And, again, looking at needs, my Lord, do they need some interior help? You put him anywhere and it's an upgrade. Next up, at pick 35, Graham Barton, offensive guard out of Duke. He's listed as a guard. Here he's a tackle. He's played some tackle and some center. Don't know exactly what the plan is for him from Mr. Nick Redder. Apologize if I don't say your name right. But again, pretty much anywhere is going to be fine. DJ Humphries is 30 years old and not getting it done. We got Elijah Wilkinson, 29 years old and terrible. You got Hjalte Froholt over here just not doing anything. We got Hernandez, who I really like, 2nd-round pick, not really getting it done and starting to get up in age. And we got Paris Johnson Jr., who is a 1st-round pick that we hope can do something. But I would say anywhere from here to here to here to here, there is an opportunity for Mr. Graham Barton, who can play pretty much anywhere on the offensive line. Then we got wide receiver, too many streams in a row. Let me try this again. Wide receiver, Xavier Leggett, I don't know. He's starting to get a lot of negative press. I think, some of the stuff that people have seen, maybe not as much as they were hoping. He is 23 years old, so he's not old, but he's not young. But 6'3", 227 pounds is a big boy. Now, you got to be all the way invested on this year because, as you can see, for 4 years, he was kind of a bad wide receiver and then broke out this year, 1,255 yards, 17.7 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns. Dominant wide receiver this year for South Carolina. 3.15 yards per route run is phenomenal. Contested catch, roughly close to 50-50, I guess. At pick 71, we've got Kalen Carson, cornerback out of Wake Forest. So, I mean, again, there's no bad picks. You know, maybe you would argue that picking a safety or something. I don't know, but I'll absolutely take it. 3 decent years in a row. 4 years there at Wake Forest. Run defense certainly spiked this past year, but I would assume that's kind of a fluke. But look at the coverage for 4 years. He's been pretty consistent, which honestly, I know for corners and everything, like you want a well-rounded guy, you can tackle, you can do fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, especially when you're talking about pick 71, kind of getting into the 3rd round, if you can be a solid cover guy, I mean, at least come in and compete with that, then I think it's a solid pick. Peyton Wilson, very popular guy, at least among Packer fans, linebacker out of North Carolina State. He is coming up on 24 years old, but 6'4", 238 pounds, and big, massive breakout year. 5 years at NC State. Kind of took a step in 2022. Then you can see in 2023, absolutely just dominated everything. 90 overall grade, 84 run defense, 91 tackling, 76 pass rush. He even had 22 pressures and 6 sacks. And then coverage was a 90.4. Gave up, 221 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks, 3 pass breakups, 47.2 passer rating when targeted. That's just the coverage. That doesn't even, comment on his sideline to sideline and everything else, run defense. And the other thing I like is the consistency. I mean, this was a little bit rough the first couple of weeks, but look at this. I mean, this is all just solid right here. So, and you got some bigger games. You got Clemson here and North Carolina. I mean, this isn't just all slouchy teams. So, again, linebacker, huge need. Sorry, I'm just looking at notifications. There's another guy that they were kind of hoping would do something and is just not really necessarily getting it done. At pick 121, we got quarterback Michael Pratt, 6'3", 220 pounds. I don't have the rationale from Nick. Nick, if you're hanging out, leave a comment. Let us know what you were thinking. I should have just brought you on. Maybe that's what I can do from now on, is just ask if you want to come on. But I'm trying to rapid fire these things so that we can get through them, and it doesn't take a month to get through 7-round mock drafts. But quarterback out of Tulane, this could just be a backup option. Every team could use a good clipboard holder. But at the same time, if you genuinely believe Michael Pratt can be a developmental prospect, and if you look at it, I mean, he's had last 2 years especially, some pretty good years at Tulane. 2022 is probably the year that you want to hone in on if you want to see him at his best. 3,000 yards on the dot, 8.8 yards per attempt, 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 90 PFF grade. You're looking at it and you're saying, look, I don't know about Kyler Murray. I don't know how this is going to work out. The attitude issues, the injury issues, the inconsistencies, right? 2020 and 2021, he graded out well. And I think one of those years it was mostly running. The other year it was passing. It's such a weird situation. We can't get out of it because of the contract, but maybe in a couple of years. Let me see if I can pull that up actually real quick without being too distracting. Ooh, this one. Kyler Murray right here. So, these are some big numbers. I don't have the dead cap. I should have put that up. But, the bottom line is these are numbers that you don't necessarily want to have to pay a guy that's not producing at this level. So if the dead money is in a decent spot, I don't know that I wouldn't be looking. And that's the thing. I don't know where Cardinals fans stand on Kyler Murray. I don't even know where I stand on Kyler Murray. I don't like it. I would probably want to move in a different direction. I love the upward potential, but I think seeing Kyler Murray at his best has been such a small sample size. And I don't know. I would be questioning it. But at the same time, we have so many freaking needs. Whatever. Let Kyler Murray play it out. We're going to grab Michael Pratt. We're going to see what he can do. He's a big dude. He's got a big build. He's shown some stuff. We'll check him out. At 136, and there was some moving around. I don't know the exact details of the trades, but whatever. We got a lot of picks here. 136, Katan Oladapo, 6'1", 217 pounds safety. So much for no safeties. And again, I don't even disagree with it. I have no problem with the pick. I'm not trying to sway you one way or another, but good football player. I mean, you're looking, pick 136. We're getting toward the back end of the draft here. Strong safety. 91 run defense grade, 78 tackling, 84.4 coverage. He's a good football player. He kind of got his start in 2021, was solid, improved the next year in 2022, and then 2023, big old breakout year. The pass rush was not the great, but even then, 9 on 36 attempts and 2 sacks. Then you're looking at, he did have a good amount of missed tackles, but he still graded out pretty well. And then 36 targets, 21 receptions for 212 yards. He gave up 1 touchdown, a 2 pick, 7 pass breakup, 61.3, and only 1 penalty. I certainly don't hate that. Again, Budda Baker, I don't know. You got Jalen Thompson. It's a guy that I thought was going to be kind of impressive. I think that was the, what do you call that? The other draft. And everybody wanted him. I know Packers fans wanted him real bad, but, whatever. If nothing else, it's depth. You could always use some depth at the back end, and I think he's a talented guy. Javon Foster, tackle at pick 160, 6'5", 319 pounds, very well-rounded guy. A lot of guys are like pure pass blockers or pure run blockers. As you can see, he's pretty consistent in both. The pass blocking really picked up the last 2 years. Run blocking has been pretty solid the last 3 years. Got plenty of size there. He is almost strictly a left tackle, played a little bit of right tackle, but you're probably looking at a backup tackle, potentially kind of taking over at some point. Again, the options here, we've got a guy that we're probably not coming off of, really hoping Paris Johnson can kind of take a step. But you've got Humphreys over here. So, we got some competition. We've got Graham Barton, who has the ability to come inside, which, maybe you can do that. And, obviously, best case scenario, you got Javon Foster playing left tackle, and you've got Graham Barton coming in and playing in one of these spots, and we got left tackle, we got a left guard, and then Johnson takes a step, and we're starting to make some progress here. We're kind of dreaming a little bit, but that's best case scenario. At pick 187, edge rusher Xavier Thomas out of Clemson. I think we looked at him just recently, 6 years at Clemson, so we don't have his age up here, but he's obviously getting up in age. Grades have been relatively consistent. His snap counts haven't been, though. So even as a rookie, he comes in, he plays full-time, dominates, right? Then year 2, decent. Year 3, the snap counts plummet. We're probably dealing with some injuries. The grades, as a result, kind of struggle. Comes back 2021, healthy, ready to go, pretty decent across the board, and then boom, injured again in 2022, right? Then he comes back full-time again. He's good, not great. Who cares about coverage when you're an edge rusher, but 43 pressures on about 300 attempts and 4 sacks. Pretty low sacks, but the pressure rate's fine. Run defense seems fine across the board. And again, we're talking about a later round guy. So you're going to deal with things like he's had some injuries, he's getting up in age, but you still get the benefit of he's a pretty good pass rusher. And maybe there's something there in run defense. I don't really know. Final pick at pick 223, Omar Spates, linebacker out of LSU. He is 6'1", 235 pounds, got a good build on him. As you can see, he's been pretty consistently average for Oregon State in 2022, transferred to LSU. Not much change there. Looks like about 2022 is when he kind of took a jump, but it was a jump from kind of subpar up into like, I'm kind of okay now, like I'm decent. But looks like as far as his abilities, you probably like him a little bit more in run defense, but not much. He's kind of a well-rounded, lower tier guy. One question I would have is special teams. He does have a good amount of experience. I wouldn't say he's great at it, but you're getting later in the rounds. You're kind of looking at a guy that can maybe win some snaps on special teams. So, and obviously, again, we need as much help at linebacker as we can get. So if he's able to come in and compete, fantastic. So I don't want to sway any opinions one way or another in terms of, hey, there he is. There's Nicky. Sorry. I was looking at the other screen to see when all the picks were, but Nick, I appreciate you, man. And it says, thanks for doing my draft. If Cards did all these moves, what would you grade my total Cardinals draft? Again, I don't want to sway people. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. One of the things that I always love about doing Cardinals drafts is, and I see you're wearing a Cowboys hat, so I don't think I'm offending you. When you get a team that has so many holes and is so negative, you can't make bad picks. If you've got a team that is like solid across the board, every pick, everybody's going to be pissed at you. We got this guy. Why are you picking him? Like, I got to pick somebody, bro. Like, you can't just pick that same thing. What's up, P. Diddy? Or I'm P. Diddy. You're welcome. Look, honestly, I would be excited about it just from the standpoint of we had so many picks and we address so many needs. You can't address everything, but you look at this just massive pile. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think the Cardinals have 13 picks. You made it 11, trading up probably a couple times. But I'm excited. And you got Malik Neighbors. You're hoping Murray can come in and tear it up with McBride, who took a step. We got Connor. We got the speed guy in Hollywood Brown on the outside. We got some pieces. Byron Murphy on the inside is an exciting prospect. Hopefully get some offensive line help with guys like Graham Barton. Is it a good team? Probably not. But is it a better team? Yeah. Is it an exciting team? I mean, Kyler Murray's an exciting guy in and of himself, and then you add Malik Neighbors to that. I think that'll be a fun one to watch. You got potential offensive rookie of the year player right there. So, Nick, I really appreciate you, man, and feel free to drop in more mocks. So, there's no rules. I'm going to even allow myself to win if I win one. I don't think I'm going to because people hate my mocks, but I just want to put them in anyways. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here. We got the again. Make sure you get in the group. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Next up, I'm going to be looking for Chargers mocks. So if you're in the group, go ahead, find some Chargers mocks, either, like it or hate it or whatever, just so I can kind of decide who did the best with that. But I'm going to take a little break, grab a little water, go to the bathroom, pick that out, change all the stuff, come up with some new graphics. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next.